You know that feeling when you're starting something new and it feels motivating and exciting, and then around 2 weeks later it just all fizzles out? And it's not that you don't care or don't want to do it, but it's just that staying consistent feels almost impossible. Most people think their problem is a lack of discipline or willpower, but the truth is it's not about working harder, it's about working differently. And so in this video, I'm sharing 3 consistency mindset shifts that completely changed how I stick to my habits. These aren't your typical try harder tips, but they helped me go from quitting all the time to showing up almost every day without fail. The first mindset shift is to master the art of showing up. Most people fail not because they're incapable, but they fail because they attach consistency to big results. They set huge goals like I want to lose 20 pounds or work out 6 times a week or study for 2 hours a day, and then judge themselves entirely on whether they hit those numbers. The problem is when results don't come quick enough, you feel like your effort isn't working. And so frustration creeps in, motivation fades, and before you know it, the habit is gone. And so the real secret is to master the art of showing up. But now you have to forget about the finish line, forget about the end achievements. Your only job is to make this habit part of your lifestyle and something that you do automatically. And the best way to do this is to make it easy to take action every single day. James Clear shares a powerful story in Atomic Habits about a guy who goes to the gym every single day for a month for 5 minutes, but he never actually trains. He would just show up to the gym, change into his workout gear, walk around a bit, but never actually push himself seriously. And at first, this might sound silly, but James points out that this man was still building up the habit of showing up every day. He was reinforcing his identity that he was someone who goes to the gym. Over time, just by showing up and being present, he made it easier to train seriously. The resistance to working out faded because the gym became less intimidating. It became part of his routine, and eventually he went on to be someone who was fit and healthy, working out regularly. And this story perfectly highlights the mindset shift, which is that consistency is first about presence, not results. It's about building the habit of showing up before expecting achievements or high performance. The thing is, the ego always wants to prove something. It wants to do these intense workouts and hit these big milestones so that it can feel good about itself or impress others. But real lasting change starts with just being there day after day, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're having a bad day or you can only do 5 minutes or it's not perfect. Stop focusing on the outcome and focus on showing up. And so here's an action step. Pick one habit and set the goal to show up every day for a month. It doesn't matter about time frames or hitting certain achievements. The goal isn't to crush it or win every day. Once you're there, doing more is an option, but your first job is to show up. Mindset shift number 2 is embrace discomfort. Consistency isn't comfortable, and most days you probably won't feel like doing your habit. Honestly, even now after years, I often don't feel motivated to do many of mine. But here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Embrace discomfort as part of the process. A lot of people quit because they're trying to avoid discomfort. Maybe it's physical soreness or boredom, or they're tired, or they feel insecure that they can't show up with their best effort. But what if you saw that discomfort not as a sign to stop, but as a sign that you are on the right track? When you stop resisting the hard parts and you lean into them, you build mental toughness. That discomfort is actually proof that you are doing it right. Because instead of running away from the struggle, you're welcoming it as a natural part of progress. For example, a personal habit that I've had to really learn how to embrace discomfort with is posting on YouTube. Honestly, there have been so many times when I felt uncomfortable doing it. In the beginning, I was so awkward, I could never find the right background, I didn't know what to say, and even now, there's so many days when I don't feel like filming. I still make mistakes and my editing could be way better, but all of that discomfort is part of the journey. I recognize that being uncomfortable and still showing up is how I get better over time. And that means showing up when I don't feel like it, or when my videos get low views, or when I feel unconfident, or I don't feel skilled enough yet. When you start to expect discomfort and you accept it without judgment, it takes away that inner resistance. confidence. And this shift makes staying consistent way easier because you're no longer fighting with yourself, but instead you're working with yourself and recognizing your growth even on the hard days. And so here's an action step for you to take. Start a discomfort log. And each day, write down one thing in your log that felt uncomfortable but moved you closer to your goal. For example, maybe your goal is to exercise regularly and you really didn't feel like doing it, but you did 10 minutes. Or maybe you're trying to eat healthier and you resisted junk food at a party. Or maybe you're trying to study more and so you sat down and read one page even though you felt distracted. Over time, this log will remind you that progress happens when you face discomfort, not avoid it, and that showing up despite how you feel is the real secret to lasting consistency. Now, the third mindset shift is that the slow and hard way is the fastest way. And here's a truth that nobody wants to hear. No, you're not going to get a six-pack in 4 weeks. No, you're not going to be able to speak a new language in a month. No, you're not going to build a successful business overnight. And no, you're not going to become a musician just by playing for a few days. The sooner you accept that the slow and hard way is the way, the sooner you stop wasting your own time looking for quick fixes and you start to make real progress. And honestly, I wish I could go back to the old version of me and lovingly slap her in the face until she understood this point. Because for years, I wasted so much of my own time failing over and over again because I was constantly chasing instant results. Let's take a common example that I'm sure many people can relate to, but improving your diet. A common mistake people make is to drastically reduce their food intake, cut out certain food groups because they want to see the number on the scale go down as fast as possible. And maybe they stick with it for a few weeks, but eventually hunger kicks in, their emotions take over, they give into their cravings, burn out, and all progress is thrown out the window. But this is not consistency. This is attachment to shortcuts and instant results, which almost guarantees that you'll never reach your goal because it's unsustainable. Real change honors the process, that it takes patience, time, and steady effort. Ironically, the slow and hard way is the way because it's the only path built for sustainability and long-term success. It means accepting that you won't see immediate results, being okay with that and still showing up anyway. Consistency is all about showing up when it's easy and when it's not. And so here's an action step for you to take. Look at one of your goals where you've been chasing instant results and ask yourself, can you make this easier, and break it down into more manageable steps. Create a simple and realistic plan that you know you can follow but isn't going to burn you out in the long run. Click here to learn 3 brutal truths that will snap you into action if you are struggling with motivation, and I hope this video could have helped you. All the best.